All right. What have been some challenges you've encountered along your journey as a creative since you started? And how are some ways you've been overcoming those challenges?
Yeah, so running a game studio in Africa is a rare activity. There are very few people like us,
Yeah.
and that usually means there hasn't been as much of a business case
Okay.
to build games in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So a good starting point is being able to figure out the business case, getting funding or getting financial resources, um, and allowing us to mostly be able to work on the game on a daily basis. So that's
Okay.
been an interesting challenge.
Okay.
We've been investing into and building the games ourselves using our own money.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives us a very high level of freedom, but also we are taking up majority, if not all, the risk.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, being able to continue to build while we are working on other things has allowed us to mature really well. So um, if you're working on, let's say, Hiru and maybe another game or another project,
Mm-hmm.
you will learn and discover new things at that other project that you sort of take advantage of and add and include in Hero, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, awesome. So,
yeah,
so in many ways, some of those challenges are still like opportunities for growth for Hero as a game and Kunta Content as a company.
yeah,
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Okay,
yeah.
your experience in marketing, I'm curious on how it has helped or complemented your game development and creative side in general. Do you feel like it's been like one of your superpowers? Considering that I feel like marketing is a thing that's lacking in our industry. Yeah, I feel like it's a big need. Uh, what's your take on that, and how has it been helpful for you to have a marketing background?
Yeah, yes, I think it's been a big plus.
Okay.
Um, I think it's not just marketing specifically that I find is the challenge. I think
Okay.
it's just understanding the journey of how players will experience your game, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
working on.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find most studios um, aren't thinking about or haven't figured out is that eventually at some point you'll release the game.
Yeah.
And because it's so hard to build a game, it's really easy to get lost in the technical side, the coding and etc.,
Mm-hmm.
and not be able to give any attention.
Mm.
Yeah, and we are fortunate that we have a really good balance across the team. We have artists, we have developers, we have myself in production, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a marketing team and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it means everyone can sort of focus on what they're great at and
Yeah.
trust that everyone else is doing their part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of studios unfortunately don't have that opportunity.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how did you go about coming up with a team? Because yeah, it's really impressive, like the kind of team you have. What are some things that you feel you did right to attract the team you have right now?
I think really step one was story, right? So
Okay.
the story that we had, um, or that story of Hero from since I was young,
Mm-hmm.
being able to tell it and showcase what the goal
Yeah.
was is a really good starting point because at the beginning there wasn't anything, right? There was no art, there was no gameplay, it was just a story.
Yeah.
And being able to tell that story got at least the first person interested.
Okay.
And then second, just being able to we have always been super ambitious from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And I've personally always been super ambitious. And talking to other creatives around what we wanted to achieve made the journey worth it for everyone, made the journey worth it for me, for them, etc. That we are trying to do something really amazing,
Okay.
potentially difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be, the goal is for it to be great to everyone involved.
Okay.
And that allowed all of us to be able to sacrifice what we need to put in, what we needed to sacrifice to get the game started.
Mm.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of it has been just being part of the gaming community, meeting devs, sharing just the story at first, and then the idea, then the blockouts, and then the gameplay, and people seeing that and saying, "Oh wow, I'd love to be a part of this." Is there an
Mhm.
opportunity to do so?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. On your LinkedIn, you mentioned that you're part of a board, and I'm curious on what are some valuable lessons or insights you've gained being a board member and from your fellow board members, and that have impacted your life personally and also professionally.
Yeah. So I'd say the first one is um, how I got into boards was through my mentors. So my
Okay.
mentors are much more experienced, much more mature than I am. And
Mm-hmm.
what they've been able to instill in me is the ability to think really, really long term,
Okay.
like thinking in years and decades.
Wow.
Versus when you're younger, and when I was younger, it was really only possible to think in days or weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a big plus in being able to really go through most challenges, try to solve problems in the right way. That
Mm-hmm.
that might solve things for the short term, but people might be frustrated in the long term. Yeah, that was always is a really big lesson, being able to think really, really long term
Okay.
and allowing that to improve how you do in the short term.
Mm.
Yeah, because you're not just trying, for example, to get some tiny value or get some small project done. You are hoping that all your work will add into a bigger goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it means how you manage yourself, how you manage your team, how you manage money, how you manage other resources evolves and becomes better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And how did you meet your mentors? Could you share a bit of your background story with them? Yeah, I'd like to learn that.
Yeah, so the first one was interestingly what we were just talking about, which was um the go down program and other like professional programs
Okay.
where I've always tried to get or work with people who actually do the work,
Mm-hmm.
not so much, talk about it,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So more and more technical leaders and mentors,
Mm-hmm.
less philosophical mentoring or mentors.
Okay.
And that's been really, really useful in getting into the places and the people that can actually make a difference, right? And can
Mm-hmm.
actually you and help you to level up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's mostly through those experiences you've had in training programs and yeah, like go downs, and what else did you mention?
Yeah, like go down other professional programs.
Ah,
Yeah, meeting technical leaders while working.
okay.
Yeah.
And how has your experience in fintech influenced your approach in the gaming industry and creative content creation in general?
I think it's been useful in just deeply understanding how tech is built
Mm-hmm.
or how tech products are built.
Okay.
So the main difference being that in games, there's a gaming engine that at least takes care of a lot of the work for you within one ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Versus in fintech, there are sometimes dozens of ecosystems.
Yeah.
So managing all of that has been an interesting balance and challenge. Um, I'd say maybe the most interesting opportunity is
Mm-hmm.
being able to um, see what a successful industry looks like that is tech led
Okay.
and exploring how that can be brought into an ecosystem such as games, where it's not yet as successful, especially in Africa, as it is elsewhere.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. As we come towards the end of this, I wanted us to, you've mentioned a few in the beginning of our conversation. I just wanted to find out who your main support system has been and what their role has been in your journey.
So I'd say our main support system has been just family, like being able to have a source of strength, a place to go back to and say, this is what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
And getting the especially long-term support to continue to do that. So family has been incredibly supportive. Having a mentor, having mentors just generally has also been very, very helpful. And just generally within games, we have a lot of believers and a lot of supporters, people who love our vision, who believe in the game we are trying to do, the company we are trying to build, and support that in many different ways, whether it's introductions, whether it's access to capital, whether it's getting us to consider certain new opportunities or new ways of improving the games. We've been very blessed to have a deep pool of people who support us.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So the last question would be, what advice you tell your younger version, say the younger version of yourself 2 years ago before you started Kunta Content? What are some words of wisdom you'd share with them? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say release or build and release your first prototype as fast as possible.
Okay.
Because it's really easy to get into a long cycle of improving internally and not giving players the access they need. As much as you possibly can, please have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really long journey at times, especially PC console games.
Okay.
And then finally, it does help if you have, and it's been really great for us to have other sources of income. And that means that working on games has less financial pressure.
Nice.
Yeah, but more creative pressure, which is really good, especially at the beginning.
Awesome. Those are some really nice nuggets for anyone also who's just about to join the industry. Just to know some things that need to consider going forward. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Din. This has been awesome. I really enjoyed our conversation and I'm looking forward to sharing your journey. And I know it's going to be helpful to someone out there and inspiring to me as well. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, always a pleasure. And yeah, I also really hope it's helpful to. There are many young developers coming up right now who are trying to figure out making games. So I really hope it's going to be useful to them.
Yeah.
Huh?